Hi everybody, Professor Gustin here and welcome to Microbiology. This week we're in week 2 and you're just clicking on one module over here to get to the week 2 information. That's the way it will be for the rest of the semester. Every week we'll have a separate module. And so you can see we're finishing Introduction to Microbiology Part 2. We're finishing up what we started last week. I can't remember if I told you this, but I'll just remind you that you can use these boxes to check off things as you've completed them. You don't have to do that. It doesn't count towards your grade. I can't see if you've done it or not. It just is a way for you to keep track of your information. So you can use those. Here's the video. Here's our week 2 study guide. So you are going to print out that study guide and put it in your 3-ring binder. You can edit it to make space to take notes or not, whatever works for you. And then you're going to go to these lecture videos and you're going to use that lecture to guide your completion of your lecture study guide. So you're going to take your notes. Remember that you can also look in your textbook and get information out of there to fill in notes. But definitely look at the videos because a lot of times I emphasize things in the video in a way that might not be as clearly emphasized in the book. A lot of times I get students who say, oh, I studied so much for the test and I didn't do very well. And a lot of times it has to do with how you study. When you take notes and you read over your notes, I don't really consider that studying. That's just kind of reviewing. What you want to do is look at the learning outcomes in your study guide. Cover up your notes and see if you can answer that learning outcome out loud. Look at your vocabulary. Cover up your notes and see if you can state the definition of that vocabulary word out loud. The practicing recall is what you need to do to remember things. And you don't just practice recall once, you do it over and over again. So I do it for a little while today, I do it again tomorrow. So you keep practicing that material. Another level that will help you get it in your mind is saying things out loud. So you go to your study guide, you look at a learning outcome, cover up your notes, and see if you can say out loud what information you should know from that learning outcome. Just by speaking, it also helps solidify memories in your mind. It helps you. Will help you get into your longer term memory. So you're going to fill out your study guide from looking at the videos. Once you've done some review, I highly recommend doing some review because at this point you're going to quiz yourself and that's going to be another chance to help you remember things. You're going to go to your lecture assignment, week 2 lecture assignment. Remember that these external learning tools bring you to McGraw-Hill. Now, right now, this lecture assignment isn't active like that. And that's because it doesn't start until August 29th, and I'm making this video before that. Remember, I'm going to open the materials for each week the Friday before the week starts. So here you have lecture assignment 2, and when you click on that, once it opens, you'll be able to do that adaptive learning assignment. So you'll be quizzed on questions about what you learned by filling out your study guide and reviewing. So you can look up every question in your notes if you want to, but it's not going to go very far as helping you remember things and help promoting learning. So try to do some review and using this as a real quiz. Remember, you can get questions wrong. They'll just give you more questions if you get questions wrong. The more questions you get right, the sooner you'll be done. But it's a really effective way to help you learn material and remember material. So remember when you're doing that lecture assignment, if you're getting questions wrong, skip from the questions section and click on the reading link, and that will bring you to the textbook where that information is described. So that's another way I hear it in another way, it'll reinforce the information. So you do that. And once you're done your lecture assignment, remember, once you've completed the lecture assignment, no matter how many you got wrong, you still get 100%, as long as it's done by the due date. Here's lab number 2, Introduction to Microscopy. Print the document, and throughout the document, you're going to see links to virtual labs. You're going to see some links to videos. So you'll click on the video links, watch them, answer the questions. I put the links to the virtual labs right here. And again, they're not open because it's not August 29th yet. So you'll click on these and you'll get to McGraw-Hill Connect. When you click on one of these, you'll see all of them. Any one of these links brings you to the McGraw-Hill Connect, where you'll see all of your virtual labs. You'll notice that there is not a lab quiz this week. We have lab quizzes some weeks, but not others. We had so many virtual labs that I counted all of them towards your lab grade this week. But I did add one other thing. In 2 weeks, let's see, we're in week 2, and actually in 3 weeks. In week 5, we have exam number 1 and lab practical 1. We have 2 big things in the same week. And we're going to be using the Respondus Lockdown browser and monitoring in order to proctor that exam. Right away, I want to make sure that you can use Respondus. So you will see, if you click on this Word document, it'll show you a link to a video that you need to watch. And once you watch that video, it will give you some information on how to load the software onto your computer. And then once you do that, you can take this practice quiz. The practice quiz is just asking you, did you figure out how to use Respondus? So there's nothing to study for the practice quiz. It's just a way for you to prove that you were able to get Respondus working. Now notice all of our assignments are due September 9th this week, except this is due September 23rd. And the reason for that is, I gave you 2 weeks to do it. Look at that, September 23rd. Yeah, the reason I did that is in case you have any problems with Respondus, you have more than enough time to get it straightened out. So remember I said it might not work well on a Chromebook, or if you have a college computer or a computer that's not yours, it might not allow you to download the software. So you need that to be resolved by the time we're ready for exam number 1 and lab practical 1, which is week number 5. No excuses, okay? So try that out, and I think that's probably all I need to tell you other than good luck. Reach out if there's anything I can do to help you. Take care.